let's do TradingView. All right. This is the platform that you're going to be using to analyze your trades. Let me state categorically, I don't use TradingView except to teach. I trade from my phone. I have always been a phone trader. I've never strayed away from being a phone trader. When I was in my previous company giving signals, I did it from my phone. I even used to do Zooms through my phone, but because of education and teaching people, got a laptop and started teaching through TradingView. All right. You don't trade on TradingView, you trade on MetaTrader 4. But I know enough to be able to take us through. So I'll take us through the small things that I know that will help you in your journey. So do take note, because there's a lot of things that you need to remember. And then what I'm going to get you to do is try and draw out some things if you are new, and then post them into the group so you understand how this TradingView feature works. Starting at the top left, you see 3 dashes that look like the Android symbol for menus. When you click on that, there's going to be a pop-up label that will show some various things, whether it be your profile, new things that have been added, keyboard shortcuts. It's all listed there. When I click on this profile, SMURF Village, it will take me through 3 other subheadings, which is my profile, any additional settings, or my billing. Now, I have the pro version of TradingView, which allows me to have other features, but you don't need to get the pro version. So don't think you need the pro version to be able to trade, but I am going to recommend that you do. And one thing I want to state is that as a trader, you're meant to see this as a business, and a business you need to invest in. And there are some features that you're going to appreciate when you pay for TradingView. So please take notice and take note of that. Okay, so there are more things to add. I'm just going to try and figure out the most important things. Okay, so you have layouts that you can save, auto save feature, which is very good, which means that whatever you do on your chart, they're going to be saved. So you don't have to keep drawing new charts all the time. It's going to be saved like that. You can sign out and do other things. But when you first try and you're using the free version, they're going to recommend, and it'll get to a point where they'll force you to sign up. So do get a profile, do go through your settings, do everything, get verified and all that stuff, because it will come handy later on. When you first go into TradingView, it will take you through the home page, which will look something like this. This will give you an idea of how other traders see the market. So you can go through and see top traders analysis. You can see the general information of how S&P 500 and other stocks went. COVID-19 stats, wow, that's scary. Yeah, so you can go through, you can see their notes and go through all of that. And you can also have the opportunity to publish your trade ideas as well, and it can pop up onto the newsfeed. And if it's popular, you can get followers and do all the other stuff. So how do I find my chart? Over here, chart area, click on that, it will take you back to your chart. You can see here, SMURF VILLAGE FX Pro. I'm a pro user, and you can see all the drop-down features like so. So let's go back to the chart. Now, we're going to be working downwards first, and then we're going to be working across. Then we'll be done for the day, and then we'll continue tomorrow, okay? So beneath this, there's a cross. Everything that you see on TradingView, you put your mouse on that icon, and it will tell you what it is. And you can see right next to the icon that there's an arrow. Any drop-down menu or any sidebar menu that has an arrow means that there are additional features in that heading. So when you're going to cross, this area is your visual tool. So it's letting you know where your mouse is, and it's allowing you to know what is happening on the x-axis and the y-axis. So what is the x and y-axis all about? Anything on the x-axis has to do with time. So you're looking through, and at any given point, we might say, let's see what happened on the 15th of June. You need to go down and say, okay, my X-axis is showing me that I'm on the 10th of June. So let me scroll across and find the 15th of June, okay? Then the Y-axis is looking at time or measurement, and you can see that price is listed here. So when you have the cross feature, what it's doing is it's showing you the X and Y axis at the same time. 11th of June, 2020 at 6:45, my Y axis is showing that price is at 102.6 yen, okay? That is what it's showing. You have the option of not having the crosshair, that's what it's called, and you can just have a simple arrow. And you see that the cross is gone, but you can see the X and Y axis are still showing. Okay, so you can have that option. You can either have, and you can have a dot as well, which shows not a mouse, but just a simple dot. You also have an eraser. So whatever you've drawn, you can click on and it erases that. So let me show an example. I've drawn a trend line. I don't like that trend line. I click on the trend line disappears. So that's what the eraser is for. Everything you find in that section is there. What you also notice is that there is a star that is next to each object, and that is adding favorites, and those favorites can make you a toolbar on its own. So instead of going through every single category and finding what you want, if you press on your oh my gosh, I'm an Ashanti man now. If you press on your star icon, your favorites, your toolbar is going to show up of all the favorite icons that you use. So these are all the tools that I use. Okay. Now look at the eraser over here. You can see that it is starred at the side. When I take it off my favorites, you can see that the eraser is now disappeared from my toolbar. When I add it again, it's now being added onto the toolbar, okay? So you can create your own favorites toolbar of your go-to instruments that you can always use or that you always use, so it saves you time going through the sidebar as well. Type in a 111 if we're together so far on that section. Let me get rid of the favorites part. Let me continue. Is everybody cool with that? Because I see a lot of beginners saying, how do I share my chart? How do I do this? How do I do this? So that is why I'm going through this extensively, so that no one has the excuse of doing that. Next one, we're going at what I call the straight line tools, okay? Everything to do with straight arrows or lines or drawings will be found here. So you have trend line. How it's drawn is you start at one area, and whatever angle you want to draw it at, it will then replicate with that drawing, okay? So you click, drag, click again, and then your trend line has been drawn, excuse me. Now, every option you have has sub options that are there present. For example, maybe you like the way you've drawn your trend line. You've drawn it black and it's thick. I mean, it means something to you. Maybe at the end it has arrows, and maybe it extends, and you want to save that option. What you can do is go to templates and you save it as new trend line arrow. Arrow for counter trend. So now when you have that particular arrow on your screen, you know exactly what that means. And I have different templates that are there, so I don't need to continue drawing them over and over again. They are all there. Every template that I have is saved, and it just pops up as what I want it to be. Okay, there's a crayon icon. If you put your mouse on it, it says color. Click on that, and you have a range of colors that you can pick from, and you can customize your colors. This over here, it goes from dark to light, opacity as they call, okay? So you can make it really, really like strong so you can see, or you can make it really, really faint where you've drawn, but you don't want to overtake your chart analysis. So you can play in between with those colors. Next one going across shows the thickness going in terms of pixels. See, line tool width. So the more it goes up, the thicker the line gets, okay? So if you have issues with sight and you want to have thicker lines, that option is there for you. And then you have the style of the trend line. So if you want to make it unbroken, or you want to make it broken lines, or you want to make it dashed lines, those options are there. Then the end of your trend line, you can have an option of making it nothing at the end. So look, you can see that there's nothing on either end. Or you can say that, no, I want an arrow at each end. So you can have an arrow like so. Or you can say that I want this line to extend into infinity. So there's an option to extend the line, and you can see that the line has gone all the way across. That is for the left end of your trend line. You can do the same thing for the right end of the trend line, and that line goes on forever. Okay. To put it all back, just go back to its default settings, or go back to your template, and it goes back like so. There are other options that you can add. Okay. So you can show different things of your trend line. You can add text to your trend line to give yourself notes. You can talk about coordinates. So maybe you didn't like the exact point of where your trend line is. You can change that and say, okay, I want my start to be at 99, 200. And you want the end of the trend line to be at 104, 100. Okay. Press enter. And now everything has been replicated to meet the start and the end of the line. It's quite nifty. There are a few ways to clone the object. You can go into this subheading of clone and copy. Click on that. Once you clone, a new one will just pop up. Okay. If you copy, two ways of doing it. Copy, and if you want to put it into another area, simply paste by right-clicking. There should be a paste option somewhere. Paste trend line. There you go. Bang. Keyboard shortcuts make it easier. Control V. You can be able to copy and paste. So Control C, Control V. Okay. That's how you want to be able to do it. So maybe you want to just clone the line. You don't want to go through any fancy stuff. There's another way to be able to clone lines. So what you want to do is when you click on an object, you'll see that dots appear on that particular object. Okay, that means you have selected that tool. If you want to be able to clone, what you do is you hold on Control. So I've held onto Control. I'm going to click on the object, and I'm going to drag that object away from itself, and now another object has appeared. Same dimension, same length and everything, and you've just been able to copy it like so. You can do it 1,000 times. Maybe you have more than one thing that you want to be able to drag. You click on one, hold on Control, click on another. Two of them have been selected. Click on another. Three of them have been selected. Click on drag on the fourth, and now all four have been copied. Okay, that's how you clone tools. This technique is going to be useful, especially when we draw rectangles later on in this bootcamp. Still on trend lines, and this is what you can do for all tools. Let's say you've drawn the perfect trend line, the ultimate trend line that you can possibly draw. You don't want to make a mistake again. See this icon here, lock. Once you click on lock, it means that this object cannot be moved. So look at this. I'm going to try and move it. You will notice that my screen has been moved, but my object is at the same place. Okay. Take note here of where it's at. 99388, 103692. I'm trying to move it, but I can't move it. The screen is moving instead. So that's how you lock objects. Okay. If you want the object to disappear, maybe everything is just in your face, hide. Okay. Then you have to go to your objects tree, which we'll go through later, to be able to unhide that object. So I don't recommend you hiding objects if you want to go through the hassle of bringing it back. You might as well just delete and then bring it back again. So that's just with the trend line, and you can do that with all tools. Info line shows the information about your trend line, the angle that it's drawn at, how many bars it's covered, the day, the time, the distance, and the height it's been able to cover, like so. So you can go through all of those and have a play around. You can see that there is two horizontal line options. Horizontal line covers infinity to the left, and infinity to the right. So this line never ends. No matter how far you go to the left, the line will be there. No matter how far you go to the right, the line will be there. If you don't want that, but you want to get a line from the present day to infinity to the future, you get the horizontal ray, press it, and you see it starts from present going on into the future. You can change colors, you can change width, you can lock them in so they don't move. you're at liberty to do so. So there's all these different options that you can pick. Okay, so that is the straight line sort of aspect. Okay, then we're going into calculation tools. These are tools that you need to use to calculate certain moves in the market. And at the beginner's level, I don't think you'll be using any of these, but it's good to know that they're there. Okay, so we have pitchforks. We're able to measure A, B, and C, and then know where price is going. I'm going to cover that in a uni topic very soon. So price bounces between the median line and the edge of the forks, which is a very, very neat tool to use. You have Fibonacci, which is discovered and spoken about at length in the university module, talking about the power of numbers and where one number leads to another number. And same thing, you can go to your settings, change numbers, change coordinates, change visibility, have templates. So I have a lot of templates over here. Have scanner credentials because we're getting a scanner soon for the village, doing a lot of things. So save everything you do because it's going to come up later when you're doing your analysis. So that is projection or calculation tools, sorry. Then you have your drawing tools. So you have brushes. You want to be able to articulate something. You want to have your signature. You want to be able to, do quick drawings. You can do that. There are other tools that we are going to use. We have rectangles. We have triangles. We have circles. These are all in your drawing tools. As geometry traders, you are going to have to get used to these. So it's in this area over here. You can either double click and it shows everything, or you can click on the arrow. You can see that I've already highlighted these as my favorites. Okay, so these are things I use all the time. Next category are the texts. So you can text. This is what I use to annotate when I'm teaching you. So Rodney is here. Okay. Delete that. You can press on delete or the trash bin icon. You can do call out features. So maybe you're referencing a particular point in your chart. Reference point, move the call out feature here and say that, price reached a level of support, anticipating a rejection. Oops. A rejection at support. If completed, I will look to buy. So you're leaving yourself notes as to, okay, why did I draw this here? Okay, that's what I have there. Call out features. There's other ones over. Balloon features, pretty much similar. Make your comment. Hello there. Type a 111. And you can edit your balloon, like speech bubble, all that stuff. So different options are there. Okay, arrow to the left, arrow to the right, etc. That's where all the texting is. Geometry. This is where we have harmonic patterns, triangle patterns, head and shoulders, Elliott waves. We don't cover them in a beginner's level, but when we go into Mastery Live, Uni and Brain Hub, especially Uni, there's a whole harmonics section where Barry talks about how harmonics work, combining them with Fibonacci, using indicators, etc., etc. So you can play around with that. Projection tools. How many pips am I aiming for? What's my risk factor? So the green area is what you're looking to target. It has how many pips you're looking to target with, and then you have your risk factor. So I'm going to risk 90 pips to be able to get 411. All different tools over here. You want to sell, same thing going at the bottom. You want to know how long this will take, so you can measure the bars, how long it will take. You want to know how many pips are in a certain range or certain area, there you have it over here. So that is where all the projection and measurement tools are. Okay. Now you have characters such as arrows, emojis, so you can make notes to yourself, make it fun. A whole lot of symbols there you can add to your chart. Here's a ruler, so you can measure a particular section. Okay, and then there's zoom features, so you can zoom in or zoom out, and you have the zoom in and zoom out features at the bottom of your trading view as well. Okay, magnets. So if you have a weak magnet, it means you can draw pretty much anywhere. So here is a line that I've drawn, and if it's a strong magnet, it's locked into a particular grid or space, so it can't be moved as loosely. All right, and you can see magnet tools really reflect on rectangles. Okay, it won't even actually show, or is it just invisible? But that's what the magnet feature is all about. And then lock, it means that when you lock onto the screen, lock or drawing tool, sorry, it means that nothing will move. Okay, only your screen will be able to move. And then when you want to hide over here, everything is hidden. When you want to bring it back, just unhide. Okay, this one means stay in drawing mode. So you'll find that when I'm teaching, I stay in that mode because I want to just draw as freely as possible. So that's what that means. Stay in drawing mode. When you're not in drawing mode, that means that you can only draw once. After you finish drawing, you have to go back and click on it again, draw. Once you finish drawing, then you have to go back and click on it again. Then there's the trash bin, and then there's the favorites. Okay, that's where all of my favorites are. So these are things that I use all the time. So that is just on this panel, which I'm going to encourage you all to use. Now going back at the top, moving over, these are instruments that you need to know about the currency pair that you're trading. So you can see Canadian dollar JPY. You can type and look for any instrument that you desire, Euro USD, and different broker interfaces are going to pop up when you type in Euro USD. Okay, Owanda is not going to be the same as FXCM. It's not going to be the same as ICE. It's not going to be the same as Forex.com. But you can look at how different charts are used. I normally use FXCM. That's because it's just the first option that's there. So you can look at that, and you can see that they're also in categories as well. So you can look at stocks, anything relating to Euro and the USD. So you can see Italian stocks that are there, futures, Forex, CFDs, cryptocurrency, indexes, and then other statistics like so. So that's where all your currency pairs are going to be. So if we're saying, oh, someone look at maybe New Zealand JPY, you type in NZD JPY, and you see all the New Zealand options. I have to go back to all the NJ options that are there. You can simply press enter. That automatically selects the first option, and your chart then pops up. Okay. The next one over are the time frames. Put the arrow down, it shows you all the time frames that are there. Like I said, I only encourage 4-hour time frame, but because of the honors students, we did some exercises in the daily, the 15-minute and the 1 hour for additional entries and other fun exercises. So I expect everyone to be sticking to the 4-hour time frame. Now, moving over again, you can see a candlestick icon is showing candles. All right, these are the different different charts you're going to see, different types of charts. Sorry, you're going to see on your platform. So you have bar charts. You'll see how they look. They look quite different to regular candlesticks. See how the bar charts look. Moving on, okay, hollow charts. Moving on, Heikin-Achi, different calculations altogether. Renko charts. Iberia is a master at Renko charts. When you go into higher levels, you'll be shown how to work on Renko charts and how fun they are. Okay, you have line charts, area charts, baseline charts, etc., etc. So those are different types of charts that we use, but candlestick charts are great. Okay, tomorrow's lesson will talk more as to why I like Japanese candlesticks. Okay, next one over, we have compare or add symbols. So maybe you want to compare how two currencies are going on the same chart. You press on the plus sign. You want to add a symbol, and let's say you want to look at how AUD JPY is faring against NZD JPY. So you select that, and now AUD JPY is appearing as the line chart, NZD JPY is appearing as the candlestick chart. So you can compare as much as you want. FX, all right, it has indicators. We don't focus on indicators at the lower levels, beginners, mastery, university. We start to play with a little bit. Brain Hub is where we focus a lot on indicators and honors, and I think even VIX we speak about indicators as well. So you have a whole bucket load of indicators you can pick from, but we don't encourage indicators at the beginning because we were taught wrong about indicators to start off with, okay? So we will not go into that in this part of our boot camp, but if you want to toy around in your own time, you can. Okay, metrics, you can look at all the other metrics if you want. That's probably for those who are actually serious about business and want to know how other businesses are faring, blah, blah, blah. If you're a fundamental trader, this is where you want to be in, but I don't even look at fundamentals either. I know I'm annoying because I don't look at fundamentals. I don't look at anything. I don't look at news, but yet results speak. So that's that there. You can create templates, okay? So you can put together 2 or 3 indicators and make it into one template so you don't have to keep on loading different indicators. So you can see that I have different indicators over here. Let's see, ultimate template that I have over here. It will load everything up, have RSI, ADX, and MACD that are there, and the parabolic SAR that has been hidden. So that is a template that is there. That is a feature of the pro element of TradingView. You can have more than 3 indicators at a time when you have the pro feature. But if you don't know what these indicators mean, don't stack on different indicators. Have your charts as clean as possible to train your eyes, and then from there, you can use the indicators to do the talking for you. So let me get rid of all of these. Gone, gone, and gone, all right? So you can create alerts, okay? So let's say, for example, you want to say if maybe price gets to here, I want TradingView to alert me, because if it continues going up, I would want to buy. Or if it starts to go down, I would want to sell. So you can create alerts for yourself, and it will remind you through email, SMS, and and if you have the TradingView app as well. So creating alerts will help. 2 ways to do it. You can do it through this clock icon, or you can click on the tool that you desire, and it has its own clock icon like that. So you can say that, okay, if it crosses up above this horizontal line, only once, then it will notify me on the app. It will pop up on this screen. It will send me an email and whichever other feature I would like. I can even give it an expiration. If it doesn't do this by Wednesday, I'm not interested in buying. I'm interested in selling. We'll get into that later on as well. Okay, we have a replay feature which is only available for pro users, and that is you've learned something but you want to be able to back test. So let's say, for example, replay feature is on. I'm only going back to this element, and I'm saying that this looks like a trend reversal waiting to happen. So I have a counter trend. I said, look, I'm going to apply what I've learned in the beginners bootcamp, that if it were to break here, then I would know where the markets are going. So once you press play, you can then look and see, okay, will it break? Does it retest? Okay, I'm understanding how the markets work. I can replay, backtest. Out of 10 times, if I do this, how many times am I successful? So having a replay feature does work well when you want to backtest a strategy that you have learned. I don't encourage backtesting on demo accounts. You're going to hear that from me and probably from nobody else. If you want to backtest a strategy, backtest on a real account. Do it on a small account, but let it be real, because the emotions that you have on a demo account are not going to be the same as a real account. This is why you hear people say, when I do demo accounts, I trade very, very good, but then when I go into real, the markets are manipulated against me. No, that's not what it is. It's because you didn't do the same risk that you did on a demo account as to live. You traded a $1 million demo account, but you only have $20 in your real account. So if you want to do any form of backtesting, do it on a real account. You're going to be much more careful. You're going to be much more cautious. And if it works, it's going to add money to your pocket. It's unpopular. If you don't want to follow that, that's you. That's okay. But, you know, they say that if you want the results of your mentor, you do what he does. So that is pretty much it. So that's the top column over there. Let me get out of the replay feature. There's undo and redo if you want. There's layouts that you want to be able to save. Settings, it goes into coloring your charts, your candlestick. You see over here, even the bulls are on the left. So I make mine blue because I like blue instead of green. Bears are red. I made my outlines of my candles black. I made my wicks black. Scaling and all that stuff, it's all here. Appearance, if you want watermarks, if you want text, if you want grid lines, if you want all of that stuff, you can play around all in here in the settings place. Okay, if you want to go full screen mode, it's there. And then if you want to post your chart into the Telegram group, there's two ways to do it. You click on this camera icon, a window will pop up. You can copy this URL, or you can save the image as a not PDF, a JPEG, and then you can post it into the group. So once I've done this, bang, it's copied. You can then paste into the Telegram group, and it will snapshot everything on this screen into the Telegram group. Now, if you want to gain followers, all right, or maybe track your progress, you can publish your ideas. So when you publish, it will take you to a new area, and let's just say looking at JPY strength this season. So that's your heading, and your followers will be able to see your heading in their emails and everything like that. You can then describe exactly what you're seeing. Maybe you've done a fundamental analysis. Maybe coronavirus is going down. Whatever it is, put your justification there. You're looking to be in support of JPY. So NZD is on the left, JPY is on the right. So you're looking to be in support of the bears. If you're going long, it will be green. If you're going short, it will be red. They've made it easy for you. It will get you to identify the category of your analysis. There are different categories over here. So once you go through everything, you can publish your idea, and it will be posted into the TradingView main feed. And if you're lucky, many traders will be able to come across your idea, and they can even take your trade. And if you get good and you get really good, you get a huge following. And then from there, other things go on. So I'll show you an idea that I had some time ago. Where do I go? Ideas. Ideas published. So this is something I did, I think, sometime last year. I did something on the daily time frame. This was a long time ago. And I had noticed that price went into its Brexit level. Okay, so, and it formed an irregular rhombus, and I put some notes in, you know, Fibonacci, what it meant here, made some notes, rectangle, rhombus, and all that stuff. And what the ideas do is that it pauses where you did your analysis from. So you can see that this is where I did the analysis, 10th of October, 2018. And so when you press the play button, it will then load the new bars to see where it has gone to current day. So this is what it has shown since then. Loaded the new bars, and you can see that my TP2 was over here. Price hit that TP2, and it's been bouncing in between ever since. Okay, so it was a successful trade. How many pips did that yield me? So from this point of where I called it, all the way down was 2,300 pips, something like that. And it went from October 2018, and finished here December 11, 2018. So 2 months, 2,000 pips, not bad. Okay, so you can publish your ideas there. Okay, back to the chart. Almost there. Okay, so now going on the right hand side of the screen, this is more for pro users, but you can develop your own watch list, which means that you're only focusing on a set amount of pairs. You can have different folders for different things you want to be able to look at. So I have categorized all of mine, so I know this is the one I'm looking at. This is the category I'm looking at. So for example, if I'm looking at stocks this week, I have all of my stocks in one folder. If I am looking at cryptos this week, all of my cryptos are in one folder. If I'm looking at indices this week, all of my indices are in one folder. If I'm looking at indexes, they're all in one folder. If I'm doing the famous, what you're going to hear a lot is the top-down analysis, I have my own folder for that. So these are different things I'm going to introduce to you when we get to the end of our bootcamp. So that is that. All your past and previous, past and future alerts will be in this section over here, alerts. You can have a data window to show what the particular currency pair has done in that day. What was the lowest that price ever went to? What was the highest it went to in a particular day? And you can just hover your mouse over all the different icons and it will show you exactly what they mean. So that is the general gist of how to use TradingView. There is more at the bottom that I'm not going to really focus on over here. That shows like broker integration and all that stuff. Few brokers that will allow you to trade on the TradingView platform, but not all of them do. And one of the last things I'll leave you with is this button over here. Some of you are going to have issues to say that I can't scroll up or I can't scroll down. It's only fixed. I'll let you know now that this blue auto feature is on. That means that I can't move my chart up to be able to write. Once I scroll, the charts are just in view, okay? If I want to get out of that, just make sure the auto button is not highlighted in blue, bang, and now you're able to move your chart up to be able to type and do all that other good stuff. So that is where I'm gonna leave it for today. We've been able to cover a lot in this remastered session. The first bootcamp was 3 days. This bootcamp might be 5. So let's get ready. In the next session, we're going to go through trading journal, some jargons that you need to know, times and seasons. I think that in itself will last us about 2 or 3 hours. And then next week, we're going to go into market structure, identifying which type of trader you are and sticking to it. And then from there, we'll see what else I have cooked up in store. But I hope you enjoyed your time with me this evening. And I hope that you are excited about this new change. Spread the word. Remember, you guys have your referral links. I'm going to talk to Luca to make an exclusive deal that if some of you have not graduated, you can use your referral links to be able to refer others to do this bootcamp program so you can get some cash back. So I'm leaving it to you guys to be able to go through your notes. We're going to try and get this up by Monday. It's weekend, so I can't force Luca to do what he can't do. He needs to also have a break, but I know that first thing Monday, this will be up on the website. So let's see. Let's see if we can all petition. Maybe he'll upload one of them tonight and see how we go. But I hope you enjoyed your time with me tonight. And I hope that you found value in this new remastered version. So as usual, have a good night. See you tomorrow, same time. And I'll see you on Telegram later on. Let me know your excitement. Let me know if you have any feedback. How are you enjoying it so far? Give me reviews. Let people know that they've missed out. Whatever it is, let them know so that we can keep the vibe going. God bless you all. And again, I'll see you on Telegram. Bye-bye.